Esta conferencia comenzará a grabarse.
Morning, Ula. Bon dia, Vasco.
Good
Bon dia,
morning, Antonio.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Guten Morgen, Nina.
Muy bien.
¿Suena bien?
Sí, suena bien.
Me alegro. Nina, Ula, let me introduce you. Nina Hoffman is working with us in IDEA since some weeks ago, and she's a great addition to our team.
Nice to meet you virtually, Nina.
Nice to meet you as well.
Buenos días, Daniel.
Buenos días. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
While the rest of the group join us, Ula, very interesting the contact from the Antwerp University. There is a big discussion here in Spain, at least, about quality results of the 3D printer and the homologation of the mass and the rest of the elements that are being printed. It's something that we have planned to speak about tomorrow, but it will be good to have somebody from the I don't know, from the homologation authorities speaking about that. I don't know, because it's a critical point here. And also commenting about the meeting yesterday on respirators, that was also a big point for the teams, different teams working on them. They don't know about the homologation. They don't know about the European standards and about the different country procedures. So it will be also very good for them to have some guides on this or help. They will meet again next Wednesday at 10 o'clock for your information.
Okay, Antonio, what I could do, but I cannot promise, but I would check with my colleagues being responsible for standardization. And I can check with them because we have a special unit here in DG Grow working with this. So I will cross-check with them whether maybe one of them could join or at least give us some views.
Yeah, but because we have calculated that we have in Spain at least something like 20 different initiatives, and perhaps it makes sense to try to group some of them. Okay, not to have so much, but to reinforce those that are really viable, and not to diffuse the efforts. I don't know, because it's quite clear that not everybody will be able to run all the or go through all the steps needed to really homologate one product, and it makes sense to help to build really, I don't know, if 1, 2, 3, 4 strong options in, at least in Spain and probably in Europe, in my mind. I don't know. But we will discuss it. In fact, there is no point to discuss this on this session, either in the one. But as I said, is probably we need to clarify the perspectives and to be realistic and to help them build a strong or really strong proposals. There are very good ideas between small teams, and there is also there are strong involvement from companies like here in Spain, Bosch Siemens, BSH. So I think that there is a possibility to really being able to build a strong proposal, but they need help in that area, my opinion. Daniel, you were there also. What is your perspective?
Well, I think that there is a strong activity going on right now. I think it's up to the really that somebody takes the lead from the government. I don't know if you agree with that, Antonio.
I don't know. As far as I know, the last news that I have from the Spanish government is that they are helping two small companies that were working on this kind of respirators before, but they were very, very small. They are helping them to grow. Okay, that's one approach, but there is another point of view that were generally speaking was common between the teams working on meeting yesterday, is that there makes sense to build a open source project. Okay, so letting the idea will be to create a open source design that probably some companies as BCH are willing to industrialize. Okay, so that's not the point. It's not the point of being a weak proposal. No. They are thinking about making it well designed and with capacity to produce. Okay, but the idea is to really have a open design that will be replicated through the world, of course, through Europe. That's the main idea that I think they have in mind. Okay, and this approach will not be possible through this kind of support to a specialized company that for sure, and it's normal, have the IP rights and close design. Okay, so it's something that I think that both possibilities are over the table, and what I think is important to know, if Europe or the different regions or nations have a clear preference, because if for Europe the preference is to help companies with IP rights and close design to be only for support those companies, I think it's important to know, and they can take the decision later, but it's important to know that. Okay, if there is yes, Vasco, go on.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that there was also an important thing that Aurora mentioned yesterday, that it would be good if, for instance, if one equipment is approved in one country, to automatically be approved in the other countries. So that is a job, I think, for the Commission.
Yes, that was another proposal. Yes, to look for this kind of mechanisms. I don't know if that exists or not. So it would be good to have one session with some specialists on homologation and this kind of things, as I was telling before.
The thing is that there are good
Because
projects. Sorry,
Daniel.
there are good projects, and the validation from the hospitals is like a university professor. They have their own autonomy up to a certain point that they can maybe validate to the criteria of one chief doctor, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be approved for industrialization and for widespread and in large numbers. So there can be cases where we have read or seen that there are designs that have been validated, but one thing is that one hospital is using it, and a different thing is that it's been approved by an official board for large-scale industrial production. The Malaga case is prepared to manufacture 300 units with the Fujitsu factory. Fujitsu here makes the ATM machines, so they have all of the capacity to build the 300 respirators, but that is not nearly enough, and the validation is only on the regional level.
My suggestion is only to do that with the projects that are officially homologated by the country entity. I mean, if a country entity in Polonia accepts passing all the screenage that should be made not only in a small region or a specific hospital, but at a level of a country, if they're trustable for the country and they are the authority, my suggestion is that the Commission accepts that for all the EU, even the world. My dear friends, no friends, we are speaking about Europe, but the whole world is needing this. Africa is starting. Maybe the statistics are not that strong because they're not strong on organizing data, but they have no way to build in there, and we all have to be solidary.
On this point, I can maybe come in because this is part of the work which is ongoing on the Commission to look into the question of the ventilators, and there, of course, the certification is a real issue, and I know the teams are working on it together with our IPR team, with our standardization team. And also a lot of legal questions because there was this case also of this one company wanting to sue the ones who copied or produced via 3D printers the ventilator. So also there, the teams are working on, and today or tomorrow a frequently asked question document should be issued. I have seen during the weekend circulating different versions. So some of the answers might be in there, but then towards this group we can channel this kind of questions. And I agree that worldwide certification would be needed, but when we see how difficult it is only to do it in Europe, we nevertheless need to have a stepwise approach.
It would be really wonderful if we could organize one video session with some of representative of those groups. Sorry, along with the different groups working on respirators in Europe to directly ask them. I don't know if it will be possible or not, but
I think Antonio, it's interesting to mention for 1 minute the conversation we had yesterday in the afternoon with the Spanish makers, where some of them have experience in making class 3 medical equipment. And it is important to say that this effort of the makers and of the industrialization process of some respirators is a extraordinary process. It is never meant to replace the medical industry as it exists now. And a quickly fixed respirator is not a medical grade equipment to equip the hospitals. It is never intended for that. And this should be at the beginning of every discussion clarified so that everybody knows that we're on the same page. We're not, this effort will be over the minute that there is a better viable alternative. But what we are doing at this point is saving lives. Of course, the equipment is very basic, very limited, but it is better than just discarding people directly.
This is what are doing the makers through 3D printers and so on, this kind of devices, okay? But the efforts that are doing, for example, BCH, Bosch Siemens, is intended to really build a line of production for this kind of respirators to be industrialized. But they know that it will take far more time than just 2 weeks, okay? But they are thinking out seriously go to industrialize this kind of devices.
Yes, but not with a $100 respirator.
No, I suppose.
But
they are open. But they are open because I know I have been speaking with them. They are open to really define an open source respirator. So they are willing to let the community use the design all across the world.
Not $100. If it works properly, cannot be $100. On our project, only one valve, to be a good valve, is $800.
Yeah, for sure.
To be profitable.
But if we are humans responsible for what is happening, I think it's good to offer to the world some models, cheap models that in some countries as Africa or wherever could be easy to build with a minimum quality. For sure, as you said before, Daniel, not a medical grade device, but a minimum quality to save lives. That's the point.
And not kill. There is always people that are, I don't know how to call them, nasty. I've seen people selling the face protectors at €5 plus VAT when they get the materials for almost for free. So this has the good people and the bad people. So someone has to supervise the projects, and only those approval could be used, in my opinion. Julio, when I was not mentioning the worldwide as free use, or also a worldwide approbation, homologation in all the places. I was saying that if one authority that is recognized, that is the authority of one country recognizes, then we have to trust that authority. It's a country authority. It's not some only person. And then yes, use worldwide. It's different from homologate worldwide with all the authorities. That would never end.
Anyway, it was not okay. It was an important point, but I think that we should go on, if you don't mind. Okay, so the agenda. The first point is to share, and we suggest to have hear some suggestion from Patrick Bigermont from the cluster Plastipolis. Patrick, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Could you share with us your ideas?
Yes. from the last meeting and discussion, yes, the idea and we would like to share with you would be to support, especially for this moment and crisis, cluster-to-cluster cooperation and aiming to match and connect life science clusters and let's say technology clusters. We know each other. They are already running cooperation and projects at national or European level, but this would be helpful to accelerate this, it's a B2B or C2C cooperation, aiming to current emergency, and first at cluster level, but aiming to connect ecosystems and attempt to find practical solution within the cluster ecosystem and the connection to deal with let's say current challenges. It's a general idea.
I think that we totally agree with that. Like the question is, how can we do that the best way? How to go on with that idea?
I don't know if it's possible in the short term, but we would need maybe let's say a frame or for this to maybe that frame that could lead to a call to the cluster community in Europe to connect each other and to propose let's say such C2C initiatives. And I would say like we do in the, let's say normally, but with short-term objectives and a very practical target to deal with current urgent situation. But I don't know how to make it in practice.
Could we organize a hackathon for cluster managers, defining challenges?
Antonio, if I may come in here?
For sure.
Because this could be something interesting in view of that we are trying to propose emergency support measures. And so for the emergency support measure scheme, which we will have to define right now, afterwards I have a phone call with the team and I feedback what we discuss here to them also. I think this is a good idea, a very specific cluster-to-cluster collaboration, but that would need a really accelerated call, though we cannot go via the usual time frame because we don't have the time. So that means, yeah, we needed something like an extremely accelerated call, but for very specific challenges. And and that's why linking the two ideas, Antonio, the hackathon defining what are the challenges which should be tackled by the C2C call. That could be, and like this, we would have something very concrete to propose how to use the emergency support measures.
Excellent, Lula. Would you define us the challenges? You are the best person to define that. Would you give us a list of challenges, and we could fix a date to propose one full day hackathon? Why not? And we could organize it.
Yes, I will go back to my colleagues because as there's this task force within the Commission collecting the most pressing issues, and so we could do it like this. But as I said, we would need a very accelerated time frame in order to do this. But I think that could be a very concrete way forward.
We could fix the date as soon as you tell us. We could fix it for whatever day you prefer.
Okay, so let me have the discussion with the team right after this meeting, and then I feed back to you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? That point? No comments. Perfect. It's a wonderful idea. Thank you, Patrick, for suggesting it. As we have been discussing about the respirators just before, we should jump to the next point, that is the relation with other initiatives such as the digital innovation hubs. Anais, do you comment?
Yeah, hi. Yes, good morning, everyone. I did not prepare so much as such. It was more of an idea and a suggestion, because I know the digital innovation hubs ecosystem has been also moving. They had webinars last week, concretely questions on the SME support they can give on the one hand, and also the public support and challenges on the other. They had some kind of brainstormings. I don't know if I can, sorry. I will share with you in the chat box also some of the.
I will give you the right to present if you want.
Sure, I can show you what they have done. Okay. You can see my screen, yeah?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to discuss with you the possibility. I don't know if, first of all, some of you are involved in the digital innovation hubs. First question, and second one would be if you agree for me to kind of try to connect with them anyways, because some of our members are within some of the hubs. So to see exactly what they're doing and how we can also connect with them, just to, obviously we cannot just connect everyone and do it together, but it's nice to know what they're doing in a conclusion. So just so you know, the conclusion here. So they were showing some of the initiatives that are happening at this moment. This is one thing, what's existing, and then the board that you can see here. Let me try to put it well. So those are some of the ideas that people kind of brought together in terms of, you know, like the brainstorming kind of online session they had. And while you just mentioned the possibility of doing hackathon, we could also, you know, if we want to be super fast, hackathon is great, and also this kind of things can be interesting. I don't know if you've ever used those in the ID board, so to put concrete ID suggestion of what can be done. Maybe there are too many here because once you ask that, you also need to to study them very in depth. But in any case, I just wanted to show the example that they're also doing this. You can see, you know, like concrete ideas that people put together. Some of them might be more interesting than others. I didn't have the time to look at all of them, but if you agree, I can definitely get in touch with the DIH community. Except if someone here is more active in it, and then obviously I mean I'm very happy to lead that. But I thought it was a nice idea and another kind of community, just as the cluster that is also moving and doing things.
Okay, wonderful.
Hello,
Could
Pedro.
you share with us the presentation itself?
Just did. In the chat box, I just put the two links.
The two, yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Comments on that? Okay, perfect.
I could just underline that it's very important to link up, and as Anais said, because some of the clusters are either a digital innovation hub or are part of a digital innovation hub. Also, from our side, we always try to link up the two. So I think that would be very beneficial.
Yes, because just so I've seen quickly some of the things that they mention also is because the digital innovation hubs can also bring some kind of financing, very small, to the companies. So this is also because there were two discussions, sorry to go back to this, but two discussions that they had. So one was on the SME side and the other on the public sector side. And so you can have a look at the, sorry, I will just go to the last one, but I think they have interesting ideas on the innovation support and on things that anyway, as clusters, we also do. So what is put in place?
There's one possibility that would be to organize one specific sessions on this topic in the next days and invite some people from Digital Innovation Hub, make a thematic just for one day.
Yeah, sure.
Would you move that, Anais? I think that we have Bianca Dragomir that is working also in that area for sure. And I think that it will be very interesting to do that, to just focus on one day on that point.
Antonio, it's Bianca Muntean, not Dragomir.
Sorry, thank you, Ula. Yes, you are right. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I don't have her contact directly. I'm sure I can find it. If not,
I have it.
You have it. Fine. So I have also I will ask also on my side the cluster that I know that some of them are in 2 or 3. So there are 2 or 3 that they represent. So when we fix a date, whenever you tell me, I will ask also. And maybe we can ask the people. Okay, maybe we could ask the people that did organize these webinars and all these ID boards to join, because on a very practical scale, that can be also very interesting to know how they manage.
And it will be a point of the hackathon to have them integrated in it. I think. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Frank, did you have an opportunity to review the final conclusions of the?
I did, but indeed they changed the process and they announced today an online YouTube video because they changed from a public voting to a jury, so which is delaying a little bit the process. They announced for today an online YouTube video about the further process. So yeah, a little bit of delaying here, unfortunately.
Okay, no problem. We can return to it whenever you are ready. Would you like to add some comments from Germany? Do you have news about what you are doing there?
No, nothing really new here. A new support program is starting today for SMEs, which is financial support. I just have to make myself familiar with this as well. It's a government-driven grant scheme, basically, for SMEs.
Okay, thank you. So we are in the share phase, the first point of this kind of meetings. Anyone else, would you like to share something very concrete, please, from your country or experience? No one? Okay, thank you very much. So then next.
Sorry, I was getting some time to get the sound. In here in Portugal, the project some of you already know that I started and then resulted also on this side of the platform, but the platform is only one of the sites. Everyone is working with distributing materials, producing EPIs, having them sent to the closest hospital. Only with informal communication, not the best way to optimize, but everyone is connected and trying to help each other. The company that I contacted for supplying filaments for 3D printers, they already supplied like 500 kilos of material, not collecting because we still don't have any help for that. Of course, these people expect to have some contribution, some financial contribution. They cannot live forever like this. They spend material, they spend time. The same with the people that make the products, the APIs, but they're working. Saving lives now is priority, and money will be welcome after, but it will be needed.
Thank you very much, Aurora. Anyone else?
Just briefly, here, Jouke Verlinde from Belgium speaking. You were talking about these respirators and about the cost. So I think the low-cost ones, the maker ones, are based on these bag valve masks or the Medivac solutions, which indeed can be below 100 euros. So there was a comment on that a regular respirator or ventilator needs valves of about 800 euros. That's indeed true, but the Medivac ones are below 100.
Yeah, but the problem is that they are not safe at all. That's the large resources.
Yes.
It's clear that it's just the desperate one, okay? And it's important to have them if there is no other option. I think that most, not all, but most of us agree on that. But it's must be very clear that this is just desperate resources. But you are right. In fact, there were an anesthesiologist from Porto, I remember, Paulo, yesterday that showed us a very fast and very cheap way to create one respirator from in any hospital, but no control at all. It's just something very, very dangerous, I think. That must be very clear. Thank you. Okay. This is a point now about Inform, and there is a question: how is going on, Aurora, your collaboration with the team on Asturias?
We are already working together. I don't know specifically if the Asturias group has already implemented our algorithms and this, but they know everything is open and we are collaborating, even talking to each other. Okay, so it's working. This cross project. much more for those that meet here than for those who never came to this forum and maybe don't know each other in the same country. That's why yesterday I invited another group to participate in here, because they're also some kind of advanced. I only knew yesterday about that project, so we have to have some kind of someone will have to collect the data of each country. In each country, someone has to collect that data. In Portugal, the Minister of Science has kind of indicated to a scientific entity to do that, but they have their own project and they are so busy on their own project that they have no time. I've talked to them several times. They say, oh yes, let's talk. Oh yes, let's talk. I'll call you later. Now I'm busy. And they have no time to do that. Those that are on projects have no time for other things.
Yeah, that's what we want to do with the form that we are working with Anais, and we want to discuss also with the ECCP. But the idea is just to be able to take to make a report about what different initiatives are working in Europe, and to have this in the same place. Okay, so you are totally right. We need to do that very quick. It's important, very important. Thank you. Okay, the next point is about events. Does somebody wants to comment on any events that you know it's coming up? Will you share with us? No. About the hackathon, I am thinking about it. We need to organize a team to do it very well, to really be creative, to adapt it to the online channel. So please contact me, whoever feels that can help us to organize the best possible hackathon in the world. Okay, we need some specialists. If you have some specialists in your clusters, or do you know one person or one company that could help us to design a very good hackathon, please contact me, and we need to work on it. It's important. Okay.
Antonio, sorry, I just have a question regarding the hackathon, because the ones I've been involved in are very technology oriented, so very challenge, and then you kind of put the team up of very different people together to resolve it. How do you envisage that one? Because it's more about the cluster challenges or
business and the project definition and so on. That's the point. That's why I think that we need to take it seriously and have a strong team thinking about how to propose the challenges, how to organize the I don't know, it perhaps it's a question not just one day, and we could take 2 days, and I don't know. That's the point.
Okay.
Perhaps we could use the B2Match tool and use it to make proposals, and not only I don't know, we need to think, but we need to create something strong.
Antonio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe an asynchronous hackathon. That means that it doesn't have to be connected in the video conference in real time, but setting certain times for submission. This ULA or whoever they say will determine, maybe 1 or 2 specific sessions in real time, but not all of the time. And then the commission will say, some group or whatever that makes the decision to say yes, no, this, continue to the next phase, maybe a 2 or 3 step process to determine the definition of projects. We can maybe refine this idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
And I also think we can check the one from the DIH that I showed, so that kind of mixed challenges, and then at the same time you have the ID board. It could be a bit more sophisticated in the way people can respond to it, but I will also ask the DIH people.
If the commission cannot make an official selection, because I think it will be very, I don't know, it's complicated, I suppose. We could define teams of expert group judging the ideas and filtering for the next phase, something like that. And if somebody knows, because I don't know the people in B2Match, I think that RIN has an agreement with them. Annette, could be? Are you there, Annette?
Yes, sorry, I was just unmuting myself. With whom?
B2Match, the tool that is used usually for our B2Match. Do you know that? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. I can look for that. Okay. Because
I can
it could be.
also, sorry, we have with B2Match because they work with the EIT Health within others. So I know that a lot of the members, they have access to B2Match services and also with the EEN, the European Enterprise Network. So.
And I think also the ECCP, we have the B2Match. We also use B2Match. But I will also investigate because from the work we are doing on social economy, we are working with in the Commission with the Joint Research Center and their policy lab. And they are doing a lot of this kind of events, of hackathons. And one of the colleagues, an Italian colleague, is very close to our unit, meaning he's married with one of the team members. So he's always willing to help. So I can double check with him whether he has a special recommendation, which tool to use, because I know my colleagues from the social economy team are regularly doing this kind of thing. So I can double check what experience they have, what works quite easy.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think that we need to organize a very good event in a record time. So thank you. Thank you. Okay. So action points. Okay. So do you have in your emails the proposed agenda of meetings for this week? I don't know if we will need to change it or not. We will be very flexible, but the idea is that knowing what we are going to speak about, you can extend invitations to specialists, experts on those subjects, okay? And we can make this kind of meetings more productive, okay? So for tomorrow is about 3D printing. We have here with us Jouke, I don't know the pronunciation of your name, from the University of Antwerp. Welcome, Jouke. Are you there?
It's perfect.
Thank you. So he's expert on
yes,
that
I'm
area.
there. Yeah.
Okay. Would you introduce yourself? Quick introduction. I don't know if you are speaking, but your mic is mute.
Working on.
Now what?
Am I still muted?
Yes. No. You are now.
Okay.
We can hear you. Hi.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
So I'm professor here at University of Antwerp. Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Go on.
So I'm professor here at University of Antwerp and also at TU Delft in the Netherlands, working on additive manufacturing, but also robotics and so forth. And engaged now for 3 weeks in a number of projects with regards to personal protective equipment, PPE.
Wonderful.
So I think it would be good to give an overview of what we see, what's happening, and just as one of the things, we also do a lot of testing, so validation. We also do testing, and I think what we kind of should have is really, so we talk about certification stuff, but what we should have is also some kind of peer review of solutions. So we're doing peer reviewing of solutions, and some of them fail.
That's wonderful. We need to invite whoever is working on that area in Europe to this meeting for tomorrow meeting. Okay, that's my proposal for you. Please try to locate those groups that are working in Portugal or in Italy the makers, the leaders of the makers, and try to get them attend to the meeting, because I think this kind of information will benefit a lot them. Okay, here in Spain there is a community. They say that they are around 16,000 makers. We are having a daily meeting with the leaders from, I don't know, 10 days ago, and the relationship is very good. And for sure we will invite them. And we want also to present you just tomorrow a tool that one company is developing just to coordinate the printing through a big networks. It's a company that has been working on it for some years, and they have, in fact, they are managing a network of something like 140,000 different printers over the world. So they are professional, but they have adapted this tool for the current situation, and they are willingly opening it to the governments or to the makers, just enabling them to organize at national or regional level the delivery of tasks and the load split and so on. Okay, in any case, we will speak about that tomorrow, but the main point is, please contact those that will benefit to attend tomorrow's meeting. Okay,
Antonio, here in Portugal, I also challenge the municipalities, because schools have 3D printers and it's working. Do you think I could also invite some people of those so that they give the example to the Europe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Just to remember everyone, these kind of meetings that we are having 8:30 are not only for clusters, just for the ecosystem, okay, including that kind of societal agents. So perfect. Okay. The next session will be about the new HCCP forum and space. Okay, I hope Lucia will be able to attend, but if not, we will need to change it to a date that she is available. Okay, we could make it change quickly. Okay, the next one will be also is about sharing information. Mostly about sharing information, where and when. The Thursday session is about shortage, and here we have I will link with the suggestion from Ula yesterday about the funds that have been granted to the regions from the structural funds to buy all the necessary items that and how to reach for them from the clusters and connect with them, just offering our capacities. Okay, that was your first message yesterday, Ula, and I don't know, but it would be good to have somebody from DG Regio or from our regional or national countries speaking about this, about the side of the needs, the side of those that are knows about what they lack and what are their main barriers and how can we help them. Ula, would you comment on that?
Yeah, Antonio, I could check with my colleague in DG Regio, Marek Presor, whether he would be willing to join one of these meetings. The good news is also Marek will be joining on the 1st of May the cluster team, so he's changing from Regio to come to my team. So we have a perfect bridge here, and he is in the smart specialization unit, and he's a real expert on the regional funds, of course, many years in DG Regio. But I also like your ideas that you said we would need somebody from the regional authorities, I mean from the managing authorities. So if one of you have good contacts, and we could also get one of them, meaning saying what are their actual difficulties, and then what kind of information would they need to make their calls better. This would also be very helpful, because Marek has, let's say, the DG Regio overview and can say from a general point of view, but I think it's equally important to have what is actually happening in the managing authorities.
Yeah. So please use your contacts, and we could invite some of them. Okay.
Antonio, just a small comment. I think on Wednesday you invited again the experts to talk. Is that in your list? Because it's
No, I don't. Are
the
you speaking
people
about
from
the?
yesterday.
But that's the
Okay.
respirator group. You mean the respirator group?
Yes.
But
Yes.
this
Yes.
is a different session, okay? This is a specific
thank you.
for respirators at 10 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay.
And now we
Thank
are
you.
speaking about how regional authorities or national authorities have a lack of some supplies items, and how can we clusters help them to cover that lack. I think it was the main idea from Ulla yesterday. I think. Okay.
And that meeting is proposed to which day?
Wednesday, but we could change the days. Okay, if we need to be flexible. So if there is a key person that are not available on Wednesday, and we need to rearrange the order, as it will be good to decide that as fast as possible. Okay, but as we are just planning now today, at this moment we are able to change the dates. Okay, tomorrow's is totally fixed. It's about 3D printing, but the rest we could rearrange. But I will try to fix them as soon as possible, just to have a clear agenda, if you agree. Okay.
Antonio, may I ask a question in terms of the, let's say, relation with the other initiatives, such as the digital innovation hubs? Where do you feel we could have that? I mean, it could be also that day, or we
they
can.
are invited to every
Okay.
session.
Okay, so I will contact with.
Whoever you feels that could add to the reflection is invited.
Perfect.
Even from the social side, even from this is a forum for everyone.
Okay. Yes, I will ask, because on the social side, I just wanted to ask, maybe Ulla, are you also in touch with the, because on social innovation, there are the collective awareness platform. I will check. Those are projects that were funded by the commission that normally are very bottom-up approach, and let's say the makers community, for example, they're very active in those. So I will check if I can invite somebody there, especially for the platform we could use for
yeah, I could reach out to them, because via social economy, we have an informal task force in the commission, and the colleagues from social innovation are linked to this. And also I have asked one of my colleagues from social economy, who is also an expert in funding. He could also, at a certain moment, he would also be interested to join, and can also give some feedback from the social side. So we can maybe, I will ask him that he can maybe hook up with somebody from the social innovation part, and then we can invite both of them.
Great.
Really great. Thank you. The Friday's meeting will be about impact, okay? And that's a perfect place for have contribution from the specialists on, I don't know, Christian, are you there? Christian?
Yes. Good morning. Hi, Antonio.
Welcome to this meeting. I'm really glad to see you here.
No.
Perhaps you could give us some insights on these possible impacts in the economy and in your. I am sure that you have information that could enlighten us. Okay.
Yeah, just quickly on my background. So I'm chairing the advisory board for TCI, a global network where a lot of some of you are members, also both cluster organizations and economic development agencies. So in that context, I think one of the things that we're trying to do is put together a sort of short playbook that can help cluster organizations to think both about the short-term activities and a lot of the great stuff that I heard about this morning, but also then about what might be coming next. We think about the phase where we are seeing our economy slowly restarting, but with the virus still within our societies, and then also what we do afterwards. So any of you who might be interested, please contact me or maybe through Antonio to do that. Then I'm doing something similar, but more focused on kind of national policies on the economic policy response, but that's probably not for this group. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't have much good insights on how the economy is going to develop. Obviously, there are lots of discussions at the moment. The EU is highly involved. All the discussions about the financing that will have to happen. But I think this group rightly focuses on what's the short-term need, especially in the healthcare system, and how can we help there.
Okay, thank you, Christian. In any case, everyone thinks about who will add to this session on impact, socially, economic, and in the long-term effects, and we could have them joining us on giving their opinions and feedback. Okay, Ula, the next session is about EU funds. It could be on Saturday. It could be whenever you are ready. But it will be really great to have you or your colleagues from other areas giving us information and making a reflection about what funding opportunities are there and how can we link with them. That's the main point.
Yes, let's just wait that this week normally the emergency support measures should be approved. I mean, the other package, the 37 billion, were last week approved. So I think for the time being, Saturdays is a good moment. But let's see how it goes this week, because sometimes you get delay as a decision-making process is not so simple. Nevertheless, you have to see things making money available was quite fast lately. So I think it's reasonable, but I do not want to commit 100% because I want to be sure that the money is available before we talk.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. The next day will be about tools for the cluster members and review of the best practice of the week. But as I said before, this must be flexible. We need to meet any urgent need that will arise or any urgent opportunity also. So if you have a suggestion to change it or focus on another subject, please, you can speak now or make your suggestion tomorrow. I don't know. We need to work on it continuously. Do you have any suggestion now? Other topics that would you cover? No? Okay. So that's it. If I am right, we have covered just 1 hour. That is the desired time for these meetings. Any last comment? Thank you, everybody. Thank you, La. Thank you, Christy. Well, thank you, everybody, to have been here. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.